I was lying on the kitchen floor in agony while my husband bailed on me to go on a trip with his sister. I'm not talking about a little stomach ache. This felt like someone was stabbing me repeatedly with a hot knife. My 7-year-old Lily was standing in the doorway, absolutely terrified. "Mommy, please get up," she kept saying. I heard footsteps and thought, thank God he's coming to help. But no, David walked right past me rolling his suitcase. He was checking his phone. I managed to gasp out, "David, I think it's my appendix. I need the hospital now." He didn't even look at me, just sighed like I was being inconvenient and said, "Evelyn, I told you about this trip 3 weeks ago. Can't you just take some Advil?" I could barely breathe. The pain was radiating down my right side. "David, please," I begged. "This is serious. Our daughter is scared. I can't stand up." He finally looked at me with zero concern, just annoyance. He said, "Look, just call an Uber if it's that bad. Rachel and I have our itinerary planned. We can't miss our flight. My sister's counting on me." His 32-year-old sister, who apparently couldn't vacation without her married brother. Then he actually said, "I'll have my phone on vibrate, so try not to call unless it's a real emergency." Then he left. Lily started crying harder. I crawled to the couch and grabbed my phone, my hands shaking so bad I could barely dial. My brother Michael answered immediately. "Hey sis, what's up?" "Michael," I whispered. "I need help. I'm on the floor. David left. I think my appendix is about to burst. Lily's here." 3 seconds of silence, then keys jingling. "I'm 20 minutes away. Stay on the phone. Don't hang up. I'm calling 911. He stayed on the line the entire time. When the ambulance arrived, Michael was right behind them. He grabbed Lily and followed us to the hospital. 3 hours later, I woke up in recovery. The surgeon looked serious. "Mrs. Parker, you had a ruptured appendix. You were going into septic shock." Another hour and we'd be having a different conversation. I started crying, not from pain, but realizing I could have died. David chose a vacation over my life. Michael was in the corner and pulled out his phone. He'd recorded everything. The nurse asking where my husband was, me explaining he knew I was in pain but left. The doctor's face when he heard his exact words. "I'm sorry, but what kind of man does that?" David called once in 4 days. Once to ask if I could Venmo him money for airport parking. When he came back, he found the house empty. I'd had Michael move all my stuff to my parents' house. The only things left were divorce papers on the counter and his clothes. He called 37 times in one night. The voicemails were insane. First apologetic. "Baby, please, let's talk. I made a mistake." Then nasty. "You're being dramatic over a simple surgery. Stop playing the victim." His sister texted, "You're manipulating everyone. David said you were fine when he left." So I posted every recording my brother made on Facebook, tagged David, Rachel, both sets of parents, all their friends. The video showed me barely conscious, explaining what happened. The doctor's horrified reaction, nurses looking disgusted. 2 hours later, my mother-in-law called sobbing. "Where are you? I need to see you." She showed up at my parents' house and said, "We always knew Rachel had David wrapped around her finger, but we didn't know it was this bad." Then she told me something that made everything click. 6 months ago, Rachel's husband divorced her. He found out she spent their savings, $23,000, on a luxury vacation. David helped Rachel hide the money. He even lied in court about it. Margaret pulled out bank statements. Rachel used our joint credit card to pay for their entire trip. Flights, hotels, meals, everything. $9,400. While I was in the ICU, she was charging champagne to my card. Margaret said, "Keep the house. Keep everything. I'll testify about the fraud. He doesn't deserve you." She handed me a folder of statements and receipts. Beneath the credit card statements were printed texts between Rachel and David about Lily. Questions a stranger would ask, not an aunt. Margaret showed me photos Rachel had been taking, selfies with Lily where she was trying different smiles. Birthday party plans for next month with "Rachel will handle everything" in David's handwriting. A voice memo of Rachel practicing Lily's bedtime routine word for word. Margaret's phone buzzed. A text from the school. "Lily Parker picked up early today by her mother, 2:47 p.m. I looked at the time. That was 17 minutes ago. Margaret and I both knew I'd been here the whole time. My stomach dropped. Like literally my whole body went cold. I grabbed Margaret's phone and called the school directly. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. The secretary answered on the second ring, all cheerful. "Hillcrest Elementary, this is Jennifer speaking." "Hi, this is Evelyn Parker, Lily's mother. I just got a notification that my daughter was picked up early." "Yes, Mrs. Parker," she said, still in that happy voice. "Your husband's sister came by around 2:30. She's on the approved pickup list, so everything went smoothly." I felt like someone had punched me in the throat. "She's on the what?" There was a pause. I could hear papers shuffling. "The approved pickup list. Your husband added her back in September. She picks up Lily every Wednesday and Friday for after-school activities." Every Wednesday and Friday. I thought I was going to throw up. "What activities?" I managed to ask. "Oh, I'm not sure of the specifics, honestly. Your husband mentioned art classes, I think? She's been picking her up twice a week all semester. Is everything okay, Mrs. Parker?" No, nothing was okay. Nothing had been okay for months, and I'd had no idea. Margaret was watching my face. She could tell something was very, very wrong. "How many times has Rachel picked up Lily this semester?" I asked, trying to keep my voice from shaking. More paper shuffling. "Let me check the logbook real quick." "Okay, so looks like this is the 5th time just this month. Before that, she's been pretty consistent every Wednesday and Friday since late September. So that would be, let me count here, probably around 30 times total, maybe a few more. 30 times. 30 times my daughter had been picked up from school and I had no idea where she was actually going. I pulled out my phone with my free hand and opened my calendar. I scrolled back through the past few months. Every single Wednesday and Friday had a note from David. Lily, art club, or Lily dance class, or Lily drama program. My vision was starting to blur. There were no activities. There never had been. Where the hell had my daughter been for the past 4 months? Mrs. Parker, are you still there? Yeah, I said. Yeah, I'm here. I need you to do something for me right now. I need the school to remove Rachel from that pickup list immediately. She is not authorized to pick up my daughter. Not today, not ever again. Of course, Mrs. Parker. I'll update it in the system right now. I'm so sorry if there was any confusion. It's not your fault, I said, even though I wanted to scream. Just please make sure it's updated. Absolutely. I'm doing it as we speak. Is there anything else you need? No, thank you. I hung up and looked at Margaret. She was already standing up, grabbing her purse. We need to find her, I said. Right now. Margaret was already heading for the door. I know where Rachel lives. We got to Margaret's car and she drove like she was in a Fast and Furious movie. The whole time I was staring at my calendar, counting. September, October, November, December, January. Twice a week, every week. That wasn't 30 times. That was more like 40 times, maybe 50. 50 times my daughter had been somewhere I didn't know about, with someone who was basically becoming a stranger to me. Did you know about this? I asked Margaret. Any of it? No, she said, and I could hear the anger in her voice. I knew Rachel was struggling after the divorce. I knew she was lonely, but this? Taking Lily behind your back? I had no idea. The drive took 12 minutes, but it felt like 12 years. Margaret kept glancing over at me, probably making sure I wasn't about to have a complete breakdown. I was close, really close. When we pulled up to Rachel's apartment complex, I saw David's car in the parking lot. He was here. He knew exactly where our daughter was. That son of a... I didn't finish. I was already getting out of the car. We took the stairs 2 at a time to the second floor. Apartment 2C. Margaret pulled out a key. She gave this to me last year, Margaret said quietly, back when things were normal. She unlocked the door and we walked in. The apartment smelled like vanilla and sugar, cookies. I could hear Lily's voice coming from the kitchen, talking a mile a minute about something that happened at recess with her friend Zoe. I walked through the living room and just stopped. The living room looked like a page out of a parenting magazine. There was a small bookshelf in the corner with picture books lined up perfectly, a basket of toys next to the couch, Lily's purple jacket hanging on a hook by the door, the one I'd been looking for last week. I kept walking toward the kitchen, and that's when I saw her. Lily was standing on a wooden step stool at the counter, wearing a pink apron with her name embroidered on it in purple thread. She had a cookie cutter in her hand and was pressing it into rolled out dough, her tongue sticking out in concentration. She looked so comfortable, so at home. When she saw me, her whole face lit up. Mommy, look, Aunt Rachel is teaching me how to make sugar cookies. We're doing hearts because Valentine's Day is coming up soon. Rachel was standing next to her, also wearing an apron, and when she saw me and Margaret, the color drained from her face. But Lily didn't notice anything was wrong. She hopped off the step stool and went straight to a drawer next to the sink. She pulled it open and grabbed a smaller rolling pin, the kind made for kids. This is mine, she said proudly, holding it up. Aunt Rachel got it just for me because my hands are little and the big one is too heavy. She knew exactly which drawer it was in. She didn't have to look. She just went right to it like she'd done it 100 times. Lily, sweetie, I said, trying to keep my voice calm even though I felt like I was going to explode. How many times have you been here to Aunt Rachel's apartment? Lily scrunched up her face, thinking hard. She started counting on her fingers, her lips moving silently. Lots of times. Every week after school for forever. Like, I don't know, maybe. She kept counting. I can't count that high, Mommy. It's a lot. Not that many, sweetie, Rachel said quickly, her voice shaking. Just sometimes. No, it's lots, Lily insisted. She looked at me, confused why I seemed upset. We come here after school on art days and dance days. We do my homework here, and I have my special snacks, and we watch my shows after. The ones you say are too silly at home. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Art days, dance days. That's what David had told her they were. And Aunt Rachel has the good fruit snacks, Lily continued, walking over to a cabinet. Not the organic ones you buy, the ones with the cartoon characters. She opened the cabinet and pulled out a box of fruit snacks. She knew exactly where they were. Margaret's hand was on my shoulder, probably to keep me from losing it completely. And we have a whole drawer of my stuff, Lily said. She walked over to another drawer and pulled it open. See? Inside was a collection of Lily's things. Her favorite colored pencils, the expensive ones I'd bought her for her birthday, her workbooks from school, hair ties, a hairbrush, chapstick, a pack of tissues. Everything organized neatly in little dividers. This wasn't a few playdates. This wasn't a casual babysitting situation. Rachel had created an entire setup for my daughter like she lived here part-time. I walked into the living room, really looking now. Lily's artwork wasn't just on the fridge. It was everywhere. Drawings taped to the walls, paintings in frames on the bookshelf. Lily's favorite books stacked on the coffee table, the ones she'd been asking for at home, and I thought we'd somehow lost. Her purple jacket on that hook by the door hung at exactly her height. A basket of her hair, bows, and headbands on the side table. A pair of her shoes by the couch. Rachel had been building a home for my daughter, 2 afternoons a week, for months, and I'd had absolutely no idea. Lily, I said, my voice coming out weird and tight, can you go grab your jacket, sweetie? We need to head home now. But we're not done with the cookies yet, Lily said, her face falling. We have to put them in the oven and then decorate them when they're cool. Aunt Rachel got the pink frosting I like. I know, baby, but we have to go. Can't we stay a little longer, please? No, we need to leave now. Lily's eyes started to water, but I wanted to finish the cookies. Lily, jacket, now. She looked at me like I just told her Christmas was canceled, but she went to get her jacket. The second she left the room, I turned on Rachel. How long? I asked. My voice was shaking. How long has David been bringing her here? Rachel's eyes were already filling with tears. She looked terrified. Evelyn, I can explain. How long? Since September, she whispered. Early September. He drops her at school in the morning. I pick her up at 2:30 on Wednesdays and Fridays. I keep her here until 6, and then he picks her up and brings her home. I felt like the floor was tilting. I work from home. I'm there every Wednesday and Friday afternoon. David told me Lily had after-school activities that ran until 6. I never questioned it because why would I? Why would my husband lie about where our daughter was? He said you knew, Rachel said quickly, desperately. He said you were okay with it, that you needed the break to work without distractions. He said you'd signed off on everything. I didn't know, I said. I had no idea she was coming here. None. Rachel looked genuinely shocked. But David said, David lied to both of us, Margaret said from behind me. She sounded furious. Didn't he, Rachel? Rachel's face crumpled and she started crying for real. He said Evelyn was overwhelmed with work and parenting. He said I could help because I was good with kids and I was going through a hard time after the divorce. He said Lily needed more attention than Evelyn could give her right now. I thought I was helping. You thought you could take my daughter, I said. No, God, no. I just wanted to spend time with her. She's my niece. I love her. David said it was fine, that you'd approved it, that everyone was happy with the arrangement. I pulled out my phone and called David. He answered on the first ring. Hey babe, what's up? His voice was so casual, so normal, like he wasn't in the middle of the biggest betrayal of our entire marriage. Where are you right now? I asked. Just running some errands? Why? Do you need me to pick something up? Are you at Rachel's apartment? Silence. Complete silence for like 5 seconds. Then, were you planning to tell me that our daughter has been spending 8 hours a week at Rachel's apartment for the past 4 months? More silence. I could hear him breathing. David, I'm standing in Rachel's living room right now. I'm looking at Lily's artwork on the walls. I'm looking at her books, her jacket, her drawer of supplies, her entire second life that you built here without telling me. So I'm going to ask you one more time, and you better tell me the truth. Did you arrange for Rachel to pick up Lily from school twice a week and keep her here? He sighed, and I swear to God it sounded annoyed. Evelyn, just calm down for a second. Answer the question. Yes, okay? Yes, but it's not what you think. Rachel was going through a really hard time after her divorce, and she was lonely, and I thought spending a few hours a week with Lily wouldn't hurt anyone. It's not like you even noticed she was gone. I actually laughed. It came out harsh and mean. Oh, I noticed that my daughter supposedly had after-school activities. I noticed because you told me she did. You told me she was at art class, David. You told me she was at dance. You told me she had drama club. You lied to me for 4 months straight. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you every single detail. You lied, I said. You told me Lily was at school activities when she was actually at your sister's apartment. You gave Rachel 8 hours a week with our daughter without my knowledge or permission. Do you understand how completely insane that is? You're being paranoid, he said, and I could hear the defensiveness creeping into his voice. Rachel just wants to help. She loves Lily. There's nothing wrong with an aunt spending time with her niece. You're making this into something it's not. I hung up on him. Margaret was looking around the apartment with this expression I'd never seen on her face before, like she was putting together a puzzle and really not liking the picture it was making. Evelyn, she said quietly, come here. You need to see this. She was standing in front of a small bookshelf in the corner of the living room. On the middle shelf was a folder, the kind you'd use for important documents. Margaret picked it up and opened it. Lily's schedule was written on the tab in neat handwriting with little hearts drawn around it. Inside were pages and pages of notes, dated entries, organized by month. Margaret flipped to the first page. September 18th. First day with Lily. She had mac and cheese for snack. She laughed so hard at the cartoon dog on TV that juice came out of her nose. She's the funniest kid I've ever met. This is going to be amazing. September 25th. We read 3 books today. The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Where the Wild Things Are, and Goodnight Moon. She falls asleep on the couch sometimes around 5 p.m. She looks so peaceful when she sleeps, like an angel. October 2nd. Lily told me about her friend Zoe at school. Apparently Zoe's mom lets her have soda. I gave Lily some Sprite and she was so excited. She said it's a secret from Mommy, our little secret. The entries went on and on. What Lily ate every single visit, what they talked about, what made her laugh, what made her sad, what she was scared of, what she dreamed about. Every visit documented in detail, like Rachel was studying her. But as Margaret flipped through the months, the tone started to change. October 30th. She calls this home now. When David came to pick her up, she said, I have to go home now, and pointed at her real house. But earlier, when she first got here, she said, I'm home. I like that. I like that she thinks of this place as home too. November 14th. She told me today that she wishes she could stay longer. I wish that too. 2 afternoons a week isn't enough. I want more time with her. She deserves someone who can really be there for her. November 28th. Lily asked why she can't just live here. I told her maybe someday. Her face lit up. I'm not saying it's a plan, but maybe it could be. December 3rd. She asked if she could stay overnight on Friday. Have a sleepover. I told her I'd have to ask Daddy. I think she's ready. I'm definitely ready. December 17th. I've been thinking about the sleepover idea nonstop. David says we have to wait for the right time, but Lily keeps asking. She really wants this. I felt cold, like someone had dumped ice water over my head. Rachel hadn't just been spending time with Lily. She'd been working towards something bigger. Margaret flipped to the most recent entries. Last week. January 2nd. New year, new possibilities. Lily asked again about sleepovers. I told her soon, very soon. David says he's working on it. January 8th. Lily brought her favorite stuffed animal today, Mr. Floppy. She said she wants to leave him here so he can sleep in her room. I don't have a room set up for her yet, but I could. I have the spare bedroom. I could make it perfect for her. The entry from yesterday. Tomorrow's the day. David confirmed it. Lily will stay over Friday night, our first sleepover. I can't wait. I bought special pancake mix for Saturday morning and the strawberry syrup she likes. This is really happening. Oh my God, I whispered. Rachel was standing in the kitchen doorway, watching us read through her journal. She'd stopped crying, but her face was blotchy and red. I wasn't trying to replace you, she said, her voice small. I just wanted to be part of her life, a bigger part. Is that so wrong? You were trying to take her, I said. Look at this. Look at what you wrote. You've been escalating. Pickups, then longer visits, now overnight stays. What's next, Rachel? Weekends? Summer vacations? Shared custody? You don't understand what it's like, Rachel said, and her voice cracked. You don't know what it's like to lose everything. My husband left me. We were trying for a baby and then he just left. He took everything in the divorce, everything. And you have this perfect daughter and this perfect life and you don't even appreciate it. So you decided to take mine? I asked. You decided my daughter should be yours? I just wanted to help raise her. David said you were stressed. He said you couldn't handle everything on your own. I never said that. David said that. Because David wanted to make his sister happy, and he didn't care what it cost me. Margaret was scrolling through her phone now. She pulled up her messages with Rachel. Look at this, she said, showing me the screen. Rachel sent me a text this morning about family dinner tomorrow night. The text read, "Can you make sure Evelyn and David both come to dinner tomorrow? I'm making Lily's favorite lasagna. It's really important that everyone's there." What's tomorrow? I asked. Margaret kept scrolling. That's not the important part. Look at this. She showed me a different message thread. This one was between Rachel and David, and Margaret must have somehow gotten access to it. I didn't ask how. The messages were from this morning. David, Friday night, right? You pick her up from school at 2:30, keep her overnight. I'll tell Evelyn she's at a sleepover with Zoe from school. Rachel, are you sure about this? What if Evelyn asks questions? What if she wants to talk to Zoe's mom? David, she won't. Evelyn's been swamped with work. She barely keeps track of Lily's social schedule. And if she does ask, I'll handle it. You deserve this, Rach. You've been so good with her. Lily will be so excited. Rachel, okay, Friday, our first overnight. I already bought the pancake stuff for Saturday morning. I can't wait. This feels like everything's finally coming together. David, just act normal at dinner tomorrow. Don't mention anything about Friday. We'll ease Evelyn into the idea of sleepovers later, after it's already happened and she sees how well it went. The messages were from 9:47 this morning. Today was Thursday. Tomorrow was Friday. They were planning to have Lily overnight tomorrow, Margaret said, her voice shaking with anger. The family dinner was a setup. Get you out of the picture for the evening. Let Rachel pick Lily up from school like usual. Tell you she's sleeping at a friend's house. By the time you figured out something was wrong, Lily would already be spending the night here. I looked at Rachel. You were going to take my daughter overnight without asking me, without telling me where she actually was. David said you'd say yes if we asked, Rachel said desperately. He said you'd be fine with it, that you'd probably be relieved to have a night off. I wouldn't have been fine with it, I was yelling now, because I didn't know about any of this. You've been taking my daughter twice a week for months, documenting everything she does like you're building a case file, planning overnight stays, and I had no idea. Do you understand how messed up that is? I was just trying to be a good aunt, Rachel sobbed. Good aunts don't do this, Margaret said. Good aunts don't build secret relationships with their nieces behind their mothers' backs. Good aunts don't plan overnight visits without permission. Good aunts don't keep journals about how the child is starting to think of their apartment as home. Lily came back into the room holding her jacket. Why is everyone yelling? I took a breath and knelt down next to her. My hands were shaking. Baby, we're going to go now, okay? But I wanted to finish the cookies, she said, her voice small. I know, sweetie, but we really need to go home. Can I come back tomorrow? Aunt Rachel said I might get to have a sleepover here. She said we could make pancakes in the morning and watch cartoons in our pajamas. My heart broke into about 1,000,000 pieces. Did you ask for a sleepover? Or did Aunt Rachel suggest it? Lily thought about it, her face scrunching up. I think Aunt Rachel said it would be fun. And then I said yes because sleepovers are really fun. She said I could bring Mr. Floppy and we could set up the spare room like a princess castle. Rachel had planted the idea, made Lily think it was something she wanted, when really Rachel had been working toward this for months. We're not doing sleepovers here, I said as gently as I could. But we can have sleepovers at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Would you like that? Lily nodded slowly, but she looked so confused. Is Aunt Rachel in trouble? She looks really sad. No, baby. Everything's okay. Sometimes grown-ups just need to have conversations about important things. But But everything wasn't okay. Nothing was even close to okay. I stood up and looked at Margaret. I'm taking Lily to my parents' house right now. Can you stay here and make sure Rachel doesn't leave? I need to make a phone call. Where are you going after? Rachel asked, her voice panicky. To the school, I said. I'm going to make sure this never happens again. I drove to my parents' house first. My mom took one look at my face when I walked in with Lily and immediately knew something was catastrophically wrong. She didn't ask questions, just took Lily's hand and suggested they go make cookies together. Real cookies this time, with Grandma. Then I drove to the school. It was 4:15 p.m. The after-school program was still running, and the front office was still open. I walked in and the secretary looked up from her computer. Oh, Mrs. Parker. Hi again. Is everything all right? I updated the pickup list like you asked earlier. Thank you, I said. But I need to know something else. When my husband added Rachel to the pickup list in September, did I sign anything? Any forms? Any authorization? She pulled out a file cabinet and started rifling through folders. Let me check. Here we are. Pickup authorization form dated September 12th. It has your signature right here at the bottom. She showed me the form. There was my name typed out, Evelyn Parker, and underneath, a signature. Except I didn't sign it. The handwriting was close, really close, but the E in Evelyn was wrong. The loop was too big, too round. I make my S with a smaller, tighter loop, and the tail on the Y was too short. David had forged my signature. This isn't my signature, I said. The secretary's face went completely white. Oh no, Mrs. Parker, I'm so sorry. We verify ID when people pick up, but we don't usually check the signatures against. I know, I said. It's not your fault. You had no reason to think someone would forge their wife's signature, but I need you to understand something. My husband has been having his sister pick up my daughter without my knowledge for the past 4 months. He forged my signature to make it happen. I need this documented. I need it in my daughter's file, and I need to speak to the principal. Of course. Absolutely. I'll make a note in Lily's file right now and I'll page Principal Morrison. Can you wait just a moment? I waited. Principal Morrison came out of her office 3 minutes later looking concerned. I explained everything. The forged signature, the secret pickups, the 4 months of lies, the planned overnight stay. She listened to everything, her expression getting more horrified by the second. Mrs. Parker, I am so sorry this happened under our watch, she said. I'm going to personally review our pickup procedures. This should never have been possible. The authorization form should have required in-person verification. It's okay, I said, even though it really wasn't. I just need to make sure it doesn't happen again. Rachel has been permanently removed from the pickup list. The only people authorized to pick up Lily are you and your husband, and will require ID verification every single time, even though we know you both. Is there anything else we can do? Just keep an eye out, I said, in case Rachel tries to show up anyway. We will. And Mrs. Parker, if you need any documentation for legal purposes, we can provide copies of the sign-out logs showing when Rachel picked Lily up. Just let us know. I thanked her and left. I sat in my car in the school parking lot for a few minutes, just trying to process everything. David had forged my signature. He'd orchestrated an entire secret schedule so his sister could play house with our daughter twice a week. He'd been planning to let Rachel keep Lily overnight tomorrow without telling me where she actually was, and I'd almost let it happen. If Margaret hadn't gotten that text notification, if we hadn't gone to Rachel's apartment, I would have gone to that family dinner tomorrow night thinking everything was fine. And Friday afternoon, David would have told me Lily was at a sleepover with Zoe, and I wouldn't have known any better. I called Margaret. How's Rachel? Sitting on her couch crying, Margaret said. She tried to leave twice, but I told her if she walked out that door, I'd call the police and report a potential kidnapping attempt. That calmed her down real quick. Good. Don't let her leave. I'm going to that dinner tomorrow night. What? Evelyn, are you serious? Completely serious. I want David to think everything's going according to plan. I want him to think he's gotten away with it. What are you planning? I'm going to be at that school tomorrow at 2:45, I said. And when Rachel shows up to get Lily, I'm going to be standing there waiting. Margaret was quiet for a second. Then she said, I'll be there too. That night, I texted David like nothing was wrong. I said I was excited for family dinner tomorrow and asked what I should bring. He texted back immediately, clearly relieved I wasn't suspicious. Just bring yourself and Lily. Rachel's making her famous lasagna. Should be fun. Fun, right? The next day, I dropped Lily off at school myself. She hugged me goodbye and ran to her classroom, her backpack bouncing. She seemed completely normal, like nothing weird had happened yesterday. Kids are resilient like that. David texted me at noon. Still good for dinner tonight? Rachel's really excited. I texted back, yep, see you at 6. At 2:30, I was sitting in my car in the school parking lot. Margaret pulled up next to me 5 minutes later. We sat there together, waiting. At 2:43, Rachel's silver sedan turned into the parking lot. I got out of my car. Margaret got out of hers. We walked to the school entrance together. Rachel saw us when she was halfway across the parking lot. She froze mid-step. Her face went from confused to terrified in about 2 seconds. I stood at the entrance and waited. At 2:50, the school doors opened and kids started pouring out. I saw Lily come out with her class, looking around for whoever was picking her up today. When she saw me, her face lit up. Then she saw Rachel standing by her car, and her face got all confused. Mommy, why are you here? I thought Aunt Rachel was picking me up today. Several other parents were around us now, collecting their kids. Some of them were starting to notice that something was happening. Change of plans, baby, I said, taking her hand. I'm picking you up today, and every day from now on. Rachel started walking toward us. Evelyn, please, can we just talk about this? We had plans today. We were going to what? I asked loudly, loud enough that the other parents definitely heard me. You were going to take my daughter to your apartment? Keep her overnight without asking me? Rachel's eyes went wide. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You've been picking up my daughter every Wednesday and Friday for the past 4 months. You've been building a second home for her in your apartment. You've been documenting every visit in a journal, and you were planning to keep her overnight tonight without my permission. A teacher who was helping with dismissal stopped and stared. So did about 6 other parents. That's not what's happening, Rachel stammered. David lied, I said, to both of us. But you knew I didn't know about the pickups, didn't you? Because if I'd known, I would have stopped it months ago. Rachel pulled out her phone with shaking hands. She called David and put it on speaker. I could hear it ringing. He answered immediately. Hey, are you on your way to pick her up? She knows, Rachel said, her voice breaking. Evelyn's here, at the school. She knows everything. There was a pause. Then I heard a car door slam. I'm close by. Don't leave. Don't say anything else. I'll fix this. How close? I asked, loud enough for him to hear me through Rachel's phone. Another pause. 5 minutes, maybe less. He'd been nearby, waiting to make sure Rachel got Lily safely to her apartment for their first overnight. The other parents were full on staring now. One mom was recording on her phone. A teacher had gone inside, probably to get the principal. He showed up in exactly 6 minutes. I watched his car pull into the parking lot way too fast. He got out and started walking toward us, and I saw the exact moment he realized how bad this was. All the parents watching, the teachers, the principal coming out of the building, me standing with Lily, very clearly not letting her go with Rachel. Evelyn, let's talk about this at home, he said, trying to sound calm. This isn't the place. No, I said. We're going to talk about it right here. Did you plan for Rachel to keep Lily overnight tonight? He looked around at all the people watching. Can we please not do this here? Answer the question, David. Did you and your sister plan for her to take our daughter overnight without telling me where she actually was? His jaw clenched. Let's just go home and we can discuss this like adults. I am an adult. That's why I'm asking you a direct question. Did you plan for Rachel to have Lily overnight? He ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. I was going to tell you tonight at dinner. I was going to explain that Lily wanted a sleepover at Rachel's. Lily didn't want a sleepover, I interrupted. Rachel suggested it. Rachel's been suggesting everything. Just like she suggested all those Wednesday and Friday pickups that I knew nothing about. Just like you forged my signature on the school authorization forms to make it happen. A few parents gasped. The principal's face went hard. David's face went red. I didn't forge anything. You're being ridiculous. The school secretary has the forms, David. I saw them yesterday. That's not my signature. The handwriting is close, but it's not mine. You forged my name so your sister could take our daughter without my knowledge. He opened his mouth, then closed it. He looked around at all the witnesses, the other parents with their phones out, the teachers, the principal taking notes. He couldn't lie his way out of this. Rachel was full-on sobbing now, standing by her car. Lily, honey, don't you want to come with me? We were going to have such a fun time. We were going to make that pizza you like, remember? And watch movies and make pancakes tomorrow? Lily looked up at me, completely lost. She didn't understand what was happening. Lily's not going anywhere with you, I said. I looked at David. I'm taking our daughter to my parents' house. You can expect divorce papers by Monday. Your mother is testifying about the fraud, about the credit card charges from your vacation while I was in the hospital, about everything. You can't just take her, David said, but his voice was weak. Watch me. I picked Lily up, even though she was getting big for it, and carried her to my car. She wrapped her arms around my neck and didn't say anything. I could feel her shaking a little. I buckled her into her car seat and got in the driver's seat. In the rearview mirror, I could see David standing in the school parking lot, frozen. Rachel was sobbing next to her car, saying something I couldn't hear. The other parents were clustering together, whispering. The principal was on her phone. Margaret was standing off to the side, watching everything with her arms crossed. One of the dads from Lily's class was shaking his head in disgust. Another mom had her arm around Rachel, trying to comfort her, but she was looking at David like he was something she'd scraped off her shoe. I started the car and drove away.